Yeah, no, it will be that way.
Oh, no, I didn't mean that.
But I'm happy
Yes.
to ask them if they read, and they'd be like, yeah, so he's like, okay, I'm gonna give you a
12
book.
hours.
Now you come back and tell me what it's about, and I'll give you another one. And so
every
it kind of bridges gaps and builds a relationship. So
You
they're
ready?
not such a scary entity, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Order the regular common council meeting, Monday, May 20th, 7 PM. Roll call.
Braun,
Yes.
Isa,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Burdick,
Jim is excused tonight. Next item is the Pledge of Allegiance. Confirmation of appropriate meeting notice.
Meeting was noticed on Friday, May 17th. Agendas were posted at the Post Office, Library, and City Hall.
Council acceptance of agenda.
Motion to accept?
Second? Oh,
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Personal appearances. Anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on anything that's not on the agenda? Okay, we'll move on to the minutes from May 6th council meeting.
A motion to approve minutes of May 6th council meeting.
second?
Any corrections or additions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And then the minutes from May 13th joint council and RDA meeting.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Any corrections or additions?
If people could spell my name with an E, that'd be great. No biggie.
Hi, Ann.
I think that's important.
We'll get that fixed. Anything else? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Finance Committee.
Okay, Finance met this evening. I will make a motion to approve bills and payroll in the amount of $194,796.89.
Second?
Any questions on the bills? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Isa,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, we have a couple operator licenses up, but they weren't here at Finance. They're not here right now, so we're asking to put them on the next Finance Committee meeting agenda. So nothing to report on those two. I'll make a motion to approve a new cigarette and tobacco retail license for K&B LLC, DBA Hotspot Liquor and Smokes, 611 North Main Street.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis,
Yes.
Isa,
Yes.
Olson,
No.
Radke,
No.
Braun,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, motion to approve tax collection agreement with Rock County.
I make a motion to approve the tax collection agreement with Rock County.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Braun,
Yes.
Isa,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Number 4, I will make a motion to award the bid for Sweeney Road project to the low bidder, which was RT Fox.
Second.
Any discussion?
In the amount.
Well, I don't want to put an amount on there because that's is it a unit cost or a per?
That's unit cost.
It's unit cost, so a lot of that could change.
Okay. Second as it was.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis,
Yes.
Isa,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Motion passes.
I will make a motion to approve the addendum to Cedar Corporation's agreement for the racetrack park ball diamond layout.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis?
Yes.
Braun?
Yes.
Isa?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Radke?
Yes.
Motion passes.
I will make a motion to approve the addendum to the Cedar Corporation's agreement for the design reconstruction of South Main Street WDOT project.
Second on that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis?
Yes.
Isa?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Radke?
Yes.
Braun?
Yes.
And that's it for finance.
Motion passes.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. That's important.
Thank you. Anything from utilities?
So utility met last Monday night, and there is really nothing to report and bring forward.
All right, thank you. Next item is consider amending purchase agreement for 407 North Main Street. Let you have that.
There's a brief staff report on page 7, and the agreement starts on page
There's not a page
number. Yeah, it's the back of your packet. So this is the attached amendment to the purchase agreement that you've already purchased for 407 North Main Street. The amendment permits the city to remediate the hazards inside the building as well as raise the structure with the assistance of a grant from the WEDC.
I'll make a motion to approve amending purchase agreement for 407 North Main Street.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis?
Yes.
Olson?
Yes.
Radke?
Yes.
Braun?
Yes.
Isa?
Yes.
Motion passes. Next item is to discuss and consider creation of tourism zone. And we have a couple of guests here to help us out with that.
Hello? Okay. I'm here, I'm James Capellan. I'm here representing the Edgerton Area Chamber of Commerce. Vicki Morris is also here, and she has been helping me with this. And so in your packet, you each had all the information about the tourism zone, the money, and everything else. I can report that Town of Albion, they did give us they gave us a thumbs up on that we should move forward on it. They did not pass a motion, but they wanted us to move forward on working on this. The Town of Fulton, we met with them, and they actually passed a motion that we should advance this. One of the things that came up in both of the township meetings is they would also like it to include rental properties and possibly even campgrounds.
Yes, it would be like the VRBO.
Yeah.
Airbnb.
Airbnb, yes.
Airbnb too?
Yeah.
You have to like register to be a.
Yeah,
Short-term rental.
yeah.
Just short-term rental then, not monthly.
Yeah, it would be short-term. The definition is actually less than 30 days rental at any time, so it's
Okay.
pretty much these places that are rented for the week or the weekend or a day or two here and there, so.
That defines all rentals, even the hotels and motels then? Days? If they're more than 30 days or they're not?
No, that's what's considered a short-term rental unit for a home or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what, it does include the hotels. I don't know. That's not included in that definition.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe that the hotels and motels fall under a different category
Yeah.
from the Airbnb
Right.
vacation home rental type structure. That's under a different thing. So hotels and motels are usually considered less than 30 days by nature of the business, whereas short-term vacation rentals are usually homes or lodging of that sort, and that has to be under 30 days for us to apply this.
From what I understand reading, that's two different things that you decide on. Okay.
Yeah. And that would be covered in the ordinance, because to enact this, the three governing groups, the city and the 2 townships, would have to come up with an ordinance that would be identical, because the percentage has to be identical and everything else on that. So that would be something that the attorneys, between the city attorney and the 2 township attorneys, would have to come up with something that we would present to you.
So you had stated, I can't remember if you said Fulton did a motion for approval?
They did a motion that we should continue forward on bringing them an ordinance after a while, you know.
And Albion,
They-
what?
They just had a consensus.
Directional, okay.
A consensus that
So
was.
it doesn't really matter either
That
way,
was
right?
unanimous,
Okay.
yes, yeah.
I mean, the end result from both of those is going to be the same, whether one was a motion or not.
Right.
Okay.
But
Good.
there was no objection to it.
Sure.
And Coachman's was invited to the town of Albion. They did not show, and I have talked to Teresa Johnson, and she's more worried about how she's going to implement it than actually saying she's against it.
Sure.
We talked to the owner of the Quality Inn. He owns 4 Quality Inns in the area, one in Newville, one in Janesville, one in Rockford, and one in Beloit. And the other 3 are already paying the room tax.
Okay.
And he said, told us verbally that he would not object to it.
So that's room tax, when
Yes.
you're paying room tax, that's what that is.
That's where the funding
Got
comes
it.
from.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, that is where the complete funding. And what we're proposing is a 5% room tax, and the Excel spreadsheet that was included, that's based on that. And the 2% that goes back to the owners of the hotels or the owner of Airbnb would be to cover their costs for
Administrative costs.
administrating it.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
So, and I also did leave a text for the owner of the Town Edge, letting him know about the meeting tonight, and I got no response, and that is the only way I have to contact him, so.
So what's the process then? So the 2 towns conceptually like it, and if we do 2, what's the next step then? Do you have to formally do something and then
The next
come
step would
back?
be to come back with a sample ordinance.
Okay, I see.
And
So it becomes an ordinance.
And that would be, again, behind the scenes type of thing.
Okay.
Where the city attorney and the 2 town attorneys would work together, come with something that they can all agree on, and then it would come to each of the boards, the 2 town boards and the city council here to looked at. You'd be able to get an explanation of it and then approve it.
So the ordinance would be actually to form a tourism zone.
Perfect.
Right.
That includes the 3 municipalities.
And you'd have to have the amount, the percentage for the room tax that you're proposing in that ordinance, probably.
Well, it's my understanding that the tourism zone, the commission, well, we form the zone, and then there's a commission, and the commission decides what the tax
Okay.
will
Okay.
be. We were just proposing putting out the 5% because that's kind of where, like Jefferson,
Right.
and, Janesville's a little different bit of a horse, so we were just trying to go with what, like, Jefferson
Comparable,
and
yeah,
towns
okay,
were doing. But that is not a firm thing because the commission itself has not made
Sure.
that
Yeah.
decision yet.
So what
Yeah,
are the percentages in the various
According to
areas?
the maximum percentage is 8%.
We can go up to 8%.
Yeah.
And if we-
So Jefferson has this?
Yeah.
Somewhere in this report,
And-
I have down where some of the other ones are.
And the ordinance actually with the municipalities, they're the ones that set the levy. If the I'm reading this from their rules. If the municipalities are unable to agree to a percentage of tax of the zone, the commission then would set the percentage. But it has to be the same in each, for the entire zone.
Okay.
Do each of the municipalities have a list of properties that are going to fall into the categories? There are some properties that are like housekeeping cottages. They're neither a campground or a hotel, but they rent by the week, month, and weekend.
Yeah.
So some properties may, and there are others that are just getting ramped up.
In Rock County, they are supposed to have a permit if they are, and I believe the same is for Dane County if they're if they fall under that category. Right now, Town of Fulton has 2 properties that have permits. So it would then be a matter of checking to see whether they need a permit or not, if they pass the ordinance, whether they fall under that category. And that would be the townships or the cities'
Yes.
purview to look at it and say, this, you should have a permit for that.
Is there any differential between types of property? Or is it all just flat?
The same rate, you mean?
It would be the same rate, if you rent it for $100 a day, it'd be 5%. If you rent it for $2,000 a day, it would be 5%. It would be the same no matter what, yeah.
And all 3 of the municipalities have to agree to be the same percentage. I mean, we can't have 1% now being 1% in Fulton because.
Yeah, it's just the types of properties.
Yeah.
If there was any differential for campground versus hotel or housekeeping cottages.
Yeah.
It's just the straight rate. And to answer your question, Debbie, Fort, Jefferson, New Glarus, and Whitewater are all at 5%. Janesville's at the 8% max.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
5%.
So how long have you guys been working on this, and when did you meet with these other townships?
We met with the town of Fulton last Tuesday, and we went to the town of Albion, I believe it was last month. It was second Tuesday of last month it was.
And what about Sumner Township in Jefferson County and Milton Township? Mallwood's in Milton, right? Milton Township? I mean, there's so much that's so close to Edgerton. Does Milton City have their own?
Milton and Cambridge do not have a room tax.
Why would we not include Milton Township then, since so much of it is in the Newville area and close to Edgerton?
Well, if you started, we tried to start something that was easy, figuring that 3 entities is enough to start with. If later, if it works good here and the town of Milton would want to enter into it, or they could start their own, because they've got there's a lot more lake property in that area. So I guess it's, where do you stop? I mean, we were just trying to.
Yeah. Have you approached them at all?
No.
I think that we started with the Albion, Fulton, and Edgerton because that's where the 3 hotel/motels are.
Right.
Those are the easiest things to collect room taxes on.
Okay.
It's actually harder to go after the VRBO type
Sure.
vacation rentals, because unless they're actually, there's some things, and I haven't totally delved into that area, but unless they're like registered somehow, then you can't tax them.
Right.
I mean, it's just harder to go after them. So we'd at least start with the 3 main entities,
Sure.
Because that's the easiest thing to go after a room tax for at this point in time.
Yeah.
The campgrounds then would technically fall where that we're considering? Are there some in the Milton Township or?
Most of them are.
Yeah. Okay.
That, I don't know. There is a campground in the Albion, township of Albion.
Little one.
So, I mean, that's something that we hadn't
Yeah.
worried about as far as the city of Edgerton, but, I mean, it's something that
It'd be interesting to
the
keep in mind,
ordinance is
though.
going, when they put together the ordinance, they're going to have to look at that to see what applies and what doesn't apply.
You're
Because
thinking of tourist destination, campgrounds, and the lake properties are generally what attract the most visitors. So.
But a lot of the a lot of the campgrounds, a lot of the lots are seasonal, where they have them, you actually rent it from April 1st or May 1st to
Sure.
December 1st. So, I mean, so that wouldn't fall under the short-term rental, but I'm not the lawyer. I'm not going
Right.
to worry
That's right.
about that. We're just
That's
here to
right.
try and
There's so
push.
many
No,
of us
no,
push
I'm
to
just
think.
Yeah,
thinking.
no, I know, I'm saying.
Big picture, like.
We looked at that too, but, I mean, it was easiest to start with the 3 hotels.
Sure.
And then the different townships and, they can figure out
Right. And
how to
it
push.
serves me right, and I, reading through statutes over last year or whatever, the room tax was first started as a room tax.
Right.
It was hotels and motels, and
Right.
that's what they aimed at. It wasn't just until recently that they decided that the tourism zones or commissions could start going after those vacation rental
Okay.
properties as well, and I haven't really delved into that part
Right.
yet.
The 30-day threshold is one thing. Is there any other threshold? I'm aware at Leisure Estates, there's some kind of controversy about year-round. People haven't vacated at a certain date. Is that going to...
Like I say, I'm not sure, and that would be something that as you're putting together the ordinance, they would look at, the three lawyers would end up looking at that and having to come up with those.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
We'll probably start getting
I
into the
really-
nuts and bolts of it
Yeah.
that we don't,
Kind of a few jumps ahead.
yeah, we're going
Yeah.
down a bunny trail that
right-
we don't even know yet, but.
Right
that's
now,
good.
we're
They're
just
good
trying to get
questions.
the idea.
Yes.
Do we then move forward to actually creating the ordinance?
Who drafts the ordinance?
The lawyers.
We have a draft that we'll start
Yeah.
with, and then the attorneys will
Perfect.
polish it all up.
Yeah. And I believe, and now don't quote me on this, but I believe that the Chamber of Commerce has offered to pay for that.
Oh, great.
I know we discussed it, but I have not had a chance to look back in the minutes to make sure. So we had anyway, that as long as it was less than $2,000 or something like that, I will bring that to the chamber boards since I'm not on it anymore, so.
Well,
But,
conceptually, I think this sounds very,
yeah.
I'm
And
just-
what would happen, just a little more, once the ordinance was passed, there would be a member from each township and the city to form a commission of 3 people. They would elect officers, and then the chairman of that committee would appoint 2 people from the hotel and lodging group to be on that committee also. So, and then they would actually be in control of the whole thing. So, as far as choosing whether they decide to choose Edgerton Chamber of Commerce to be the tourism entity or some other one, but so. And so they would then, actually that commission would really do the implementation of the whole tourism zone. But it would all be based on the ordinance that each of the townships in U would pass.
So tonight, you're only looking for a motion to advance to the draft stage?
Yeah, that's really, that there's, no huge objection to it, that we would move forward to draft or put together an ordinance that all 3 entities could vote on.
I'd really like to see
Possibly, yeah.
Milton and Sumner Township at least approached before we move forward on this, because I'd hate to go ahead and start something and then have them think that, oh, we're an afterthought, or maybe that we weren't considered at first. I think that it would be nice to have the entire area together, at least see if there's an interest in it.
Well, I think if we have this and, and it gets to be a commission, they can join,
Well,
so it's, but the
kind of
thing
like,
is.
it's kind of nice to be asked up front, though.
But they have an
Well-
incentive to try to be part of it, so I don't think that at any time they could. It's been a ton of work to get to this point, so I would hate for
Yeah.
this to stumble at this point by expanding into an area where we've never even done any conversations and had any.
Yeah.
So I think there's an opportunity to join, and given that the volunteers have done the work they've done so far, which has been a ton, I guess my thought is that
Yeah.
we should try to get this accomplished.
I guess I'm wondering why we're just hearing about this today for the first time, and if it's been going on for some time, why wasn't it
Well, I
a
believe
memo?
that's
put in
how
our memo?
committees proceed, that bring it to the council when they have something to present, and I think
I
that's great.
didn't know that there was a committee that was,
Just a bunch of, these are volunteers, they're not committees.
It's 2 volunteers,
one heck of a committee.
volunteers here.
so I'm just saying that
and-
I'd like to see these townships considered before we move ahead.
The thing is, there's no hotel there
Right.
that we can address.
And then
I mean,
that's why
and-
Milton actually does not have a room taxes because they don't have a hotel or a motel.
They have all them campgrounds, so if we could,
It
But-
falls under different, I
but-
think,
yeah.
different classification,
That's part of
which would make it maybe easier for them to join later since the legwork's basically done.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that would be the thing, is that there'd be a commission already formed, and
Right.
there'd be an ordinance that they could look at, and they could decide whether they
wouldn't
wanted
wanna
to
leave
or
them
not.
out at
So, I
all.
mean, it wouldn't be that we don't want them, it's just the fact that it's
Gotta start
easier
somewhere.
dealing
Yeah.
with the 3 hotels, and this is something that they're standing there. They're not moving around, they're not pulling in and out every other weekend, and, you know, and we don't have to worry about that part of it, because,
these totals.
so, you know.
Could you explain the totals on the spreadsheet? I'm trying to figure out what, so the 56,964 is what is taken in,
Okay,
what revenue, I guess, would it generate for the tourism zone then? Which number?
okay, that would be the 68%, that 56,964.
Go back into
That would go
helping
into
develop tourism and...
into the tourism zone, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
just for those 3 places?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
And these are somewhat guesstimates.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
You know, we kind of
Yeah.
guesstimated, when we met with the owners, we tried to adjust the figures.
What their
to
average occupancy
What they
is.
ended up
per-
with.
Okay.
And, but out of that $57,000, you have to remember, you're also going to be hiring somebody to actually run it, and we're looking at a part-time, and so,
The idea is, though, by having a staff member that can do this, then they're going to be creating other revenue streams eventually
Right.
geared towards tourism,
Yeah.
which is,
Yeah.
okay.
Exactly.
Be awesome.
yeah.
Well, it's been on my radar for
I
a
mean,
while,
yeah.
so
Well, that's the biggest thing, is, I mean, you know, volunteerism is
Yeah.
great, but
it
there are
moves
certain
very
times
slow
where
if you're just
where you get
volunteering your
tired.
time.
So,
And believe, there are tourist attraction, there are areas all over the state that are encouraged by the Department of Tourism to do this very thing. And many of them are at this stage now, and many have passed this stage, and many are contemplating getting here someday. But this has stalled many years in a row, and I think it's great that it's moving forward.
yeah. Well, we were encouraged after both the town of Albion and town of Fulton said to move forward, and I'm hoping we get
This is
let's
great.
move forward here too, so.
Good.
and
If we
again,
go-
though, if we included the town of Milton, we've got all the campgrounds out there for the tourism dollars on, now, granted, they don't have hotels there now, but to include them, I mean, and there's the go-kart track. I mean,
But the
it'd be
go-kart
nice to be
track
able to
wouldn't
promote
be-
that kind of
Yeah.
stuff too. And, I mean, I know that we're not going to be taxing that, but you're using the proceeds to encourage tourism. So we want to include that area
We would probably,
in our
you know,
endorsement.
We're going to promote the tourism throughout the area, whether they're actually
Right.
something in the township or
Yeah.
not. And the go-kart track is probably going to be one of them that we'll be promoting that's in our area. So, you know, because for quality, comfort, no.
Quality,
It used to
Quality,
be
yeah.
comfort, you're right.
Yeah, it used to be.
He wants things, and this is why we're doing it, so we can advertise what we have around here to bring business. to
Right.
these
And then
hotels.
shuttle services
So,
and,
you know,
yeah.
like we're advertising the go-kart track, and there's a hotel right down the, you know, road from them. That's one of the things that we'll be advertising besides Lake Koshkonong and things
Mm-hmm.
like that. But up to this point, we haven't had any dollars to do any of this, and so, you know, we gotta get.
Right.
Start somewhere.
the dollars.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's another thing to be aware of, and that is that there are venues like riding stables as far away as Whitewater Lake that would benefit from every attempt to do this, no matter where it's sited, because day trips are what it's all about in this area.
There's riding stables
Right.
by here?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
All the way down,
I'd love to go with my riding.
And Highway
all the way
10.
down to the state line and beyond.
Wow.
So if we think about doing this, would it be, include the Airbnb and everything, not just the 3 hotels?
We would look at it, yeah, we would include it, you know, I mean, whatever, you know, I mean, and I guess there would be, it would be a matter of, it would come back from the ordinance, what could be covered and what couldn't be covered, and then we could look at what the numbers would change or whatever, but.
Sure.
Matt?
I just is really super, Jim, and everyone that's been starting on this. We've been talking it over the years and so forth, the bits and pieces. Now it's finally coming to fruition a little bit, coming together, bits and pieces. It sounds really good, and that's what it's all about, promoting the money we receive. This will help to promote our area and bring more businesses into the area and so forth, like Dave said.
It's got a radius
It's been
that's
talked about it
ever
over the years, but now this is just a great start. Whatever happens more in a year or two, this is great, but it's an excellent, good start. And that the bottom line is bring more dollars and businesses into this community, enhance the current ones that are there. Thanks.
I'm going to add something for Debbie too, because I was, again, paging through I have, stuff. So right in here, it does say, which makes me wonder about campgrounds. The taxes generally apply to charges for rooms or lodging provided for fewer than 30 consecutive days by hotels, motels, rooming houses, bed and breakfasts, cottages, cabins, and summer camps. It doesn't say campgrounds.
It has to be a furnished room.
It has to be a furnished room.
And it excludes RVs, it excludes mobile manufactured homes.
That's why when you kept saying campgrounds, part of my brain.
Well, I'm just thinking that that's where the majority of our tourism people are right now, because we don't have that many hotel rooms around here. We have more campgrounds.
So we can't go
But
back
in the
to-
future, hopefully, more hotels will be built.
Yeah, right. I mean, we'll advertise that we have campgrounds,
Yeah.
of course, but we can't go after those campgrounds.
No, of course not. I understand that.
Yeah.
Have you guys put together a map of what the zone would look like altogether? The tourism zone, like what it stretches to, or just basically, and then whatever would be added after that, right? Okay.
Yeah, and if,
Sure.
there's something that we could add after that.
So,
I'll make
I
a
guess-
motion. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I guess I asked that question because those are, the zone is where the funds that you collect would benefit from the monies collected. So technically, even if we wanted to see areas like Lake Koshkonong and Milton receive some of those funds, then they'd want to be part of that zone anyway, so they have an incentive to become part of the
Good point.
zone.
Yep.
They could, yeah.
it has to be an entire municipality, doesn't it? It can't be half of the
Yes.
town of Milton, so.
Yes. It has to be a municipality, that's
A long
correct.
ways away from the lake on the other end, the town of Milton goes a long ways away from the lake then. So
Does the Lake Koshkonong government body, is that considered a municipality and has
The Lake District?
capacity to become a member?
Lake District, I wouldn't think so.
Okay.
They don't have tax power.
It would be a harder sell,
All right.
for the rest
It has to be
But Milton has,
Yeah, it's just becoming versed in the distinctions.
Municipality is a city, a town, or a village. It does not include separate districts.
They don't necessarily have.
Good question.
Same way.
And I guess if they can't contribute with room tax, I don't know how the fees would, like, do you make them pay a membership fee? I don't know, that's an interesting question.
Campbell Field and what they use with Miller Park together. I mean, it's a special tax that they put on for, build a building, basically. And so I've cautioned everybody, don't say district.
Yeah, it's just a curiosity.
You know, words mean something different, so. If anybody's got any other questions or so, otherwise.
I love it. I think it makes sense. I'd like to make a motion to move forward with creating a tourism zone.
Second.
further discussion?
Thanks, guys, for doing this work.
Okay, roll call, please.
Davis,
Yes.
Eastman,
Yes.
Olson,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Nice job.
Thank you, Jim and Vicki.
Nice job. Anxious to see more. And if you think we had these questions now, can you imagine what it's going to be like when it comes forward? That's right. It was wonderful.
At a time.
Thank you, Jim and Vicki.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Mayor, Alderperson, and staff reports. Yesterday started EMS week. If people that have used to be involved with some of that, I'd like to thank them for their efforts there. I got a letter today from Municipal Treasurers Association of Wisconsin. The Municipal Treasurers Association of Wisconsin is proud to announce that Jenny Salvo has completed the necessary requirements to achieve the designation of Certified Municipal Treasurer of Wisconsin. And they throw the letters in there for that, the acronym, so we'll skip them. And was awarded this coveted designation at our spring conference held in Oshkosh, May 2nd and May 3rd. An organization of over 500 members, only 57 have achieved this honor. And I'm going to stop for a second there. We have 2 of them here. 2 out of the 57.
Wow.
The individual must meet both extensive educational standards in addition to work experience to be certified. The certification must be renewed every 5 years by attending continuing educational classes and maintaining proficiency in their area of fiduciary responsibility. The MTAW applauds Jenny Salvo, CMTW, on this achievement. John Slice, Executive Secretary. So congratulations, Jenny.
Congratulations, Jenny.
See, we got 2 out of the 57. Oh,
Wonderful.
must be doing something right here, huh? One other thing, next weekend, next Monday's Memorial Day. Don't forget the pictures in the other room there. That is all I have.
All right. Okay, I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?